Hey there, superstars. His name's Aaron, and he just migrated to Google Chrome.
His name's Tommy, and he'll do whatever he feels like. Gosh.
And you're listening to the SuperPod Saga. That's right, the SuperPod Saga. That's what you're listening to. That's the podcast that we are talking on. We're recording. If you're a first-time listener, if you heard about us on the local news and you're checking us out, welcome. Thank you for showing up. This is the podcast where Aaron and I and a guest bring a different video game topic to the table each week, and we discuss it. We don't take any breaths between what we're saying. We just constantly talk until we run out of breath.
That's true. We have to have one of those scuba diver tanks to keep up with this thing. It's like having what is it? It's like having emphysema, but like not having it at the same time. That's a podcast.
Yeah,
that's a podcast.
Schrodinger's emphysema.
Yes,
that's a good joke.
Emphysema cat.
I
want that to be my new gamer tag.
Speaking of good jokes, we got a real funny guest on the show. I want to really build him up to be funny so that he feels a lot of pressure.
Real Adam Sandler over here.
Real Adam Sandler. It's Thrak from the 3DO Experience podcast. Am I right? I forgot to ask that before we started.
You are correct.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. Good. How's it going? Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. Oh, this is great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you. I'm really excited.
We're excited.
Because I assumed the topic today was a bunch of Steam porn games.
Yes.
So I put like 30 hours into Country Bumpkin Yutaka. So I'm ready to go.
You were not told the correct information.
Oh, was it?
No. I don't know where you got that from.
It was in the Discord, right?
Oh boy, I'm getting real sweaty now.
Dude, my wrist is tired. Like, come on.
I've got no more socks left.
I have to wear them now.
Why don't you tell us about your podcast and what's that all about?
Okay, so the 3DO Experience is me and another guy named Bill. I don't know if he's been on this show or not.
Oh yeah, Bill.
But
Gaming and Collecting Bill. Tommy, you know him.
I know Bill.
Yeah,
I've talked to Bill.
Yeah. I met him through, I think it was Dave's Discord, Tales from the Backlog, and he invited me into his. So I was like, "And why not?" And then he had this little thing for the 3DO, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" And he said, "Oh, I was doing a show about the 3DO, but I couldn't really like sustain it or whatever." And I essentially pushed him into bringing it back, and I said, "Look, I'll help you with it. Let's just do it." And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we do it now, where every week we discuss the 3DO, which was a company that was formed. They made a console. That console failed, and then they made a bunch of games after that, and then they failed later. But it is a very fascinating story. The 3DO, the console, the game library, the stuff they did afterwards. It's a very fascinating topic. And me and Bill usually every week have something to say about it. And other times we like to have tangents and shoot the shit about, whatever gaming stuff's going on during the week. Usually I bring it up. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's cool. I'm glad that podcast exists because there needs to be more talk about old video game stuff because I feel like sometimes it's easy to forget the things in the past from video games.
Especially if it doesn't say Nintendo or Sega on it.
Mm-hmm.
When I learned what a Wonder Swan was, I was like, what?
Ooh.
Where can people find the podcast if they want to listen to it? And we're on social media.
Okay, well, basically, you can find the podcast in the same place you found this podcast. So just type in 3DO, and you'll probably see it. If you don't, type in 3DO Experience. And if you don't see it, then you can just go to Twitter, not X, Twitter. Go to my personal Twitter, Thrak94, and just yell at me for being an absolute cretin, which I am. And then I'll try to guide you where you need to go. So there you go.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Very helpful. Aaron, where can people...
Yeah, leave Bill alone. Bill's a nice guy. He's very busy. He's very nice. He's very busy. Mm-hmm. He's trying to pay off his Panzer Dragoon Saga debt, so I will be handling all the complaints.
Excellent.
You're his power of attorney.
Yes.
Aaron, where can people find more SuperPod Saga gooey goodness?
Well, yeah, be sure to wipe the Dorito crumbs off your hands first, but then head on over to superpodsaga.com. Get another saga that will put you in debt. Hee hee. That's a
Zee-hoo.
stupid joke. I'm cutting that out.
Yeah, cut it out.
Since when are Doritos gooey?
The
With the
dust.
way I eat them.
Gross.
superpodsaga.com, previous episodes, blogs, social medias, and our support page with our Patreon. Because if you like the show and you like us, help us out and support the show, and you get bonus episodes and join our Discord and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an OnlyFans yet?
Not yet.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Ooh. I'd love to see your feet.
So look forward to that maybe someday.
That's what I have weird feet, and I feel like people would pay a lot of money to see them. Like,
Maybe not a lot of money, but a couple bucks.
no, they'll pay a lot.
Any
of
amount
money
of money
to watch.
is a
I'll
good
prove you
amount of
wrong.
money.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
If you don't want to give us money though, that's fine. Just having you here listening makes me happy. Every day I check out our stats, and for every listen I see, I say thank you. So it takes a little bit, but
Right as soon as that number changes, like as soon as you hit refresh and
Yeah.
the number changes, you're like thank you.
thank you.
A little tear rolls down your cheek. You like look at your poster of Mel Gibson as Braveheart on your wall. You're like thank you, and you do like a little salute, even though that has nothing to do with it. You're like,
Somebody just throws a bunch of trash at your feet.
Believe it or not, that is not going to be the last Braveheart reference on this episode. I have
All
one in
right.
the chamber.
oh, he's loaded, ready to go.
Is that code?
No. Hey, Aaron. We have a Discord, right?
We do, and we ask people questions sometimes when we're not totally discombobulated.
When we remember.
That's right. So we asked everybody in our server. We asked, what are some of your favorite spin-off games? And the first one, like not even a fucking 30 seconds after I
seriously,
posted
it was
that,
right away.
ugly kid Joe Cross, Dale Earnhardt's right in. He goes, I'm going to put this to rest right now. Like Dale Earnhardt, Mario Kart is the best spin-off game.
Like Dale Earnhardt.
that was that was not tasteful.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Dale.
The-
Ghost Dale.
The day that Dale Earnhardt died, I cried.
He cried
No, I
and
was
then
the one
he
who
died.
cried. After my parents told me, I went to bed and I just laid there and cried because I was so sad.
So you're like, who is this man?
Sam?
He left this hole in my wall.
Oh man, Chris ANC said the Persona series a favorite. Resident Evil Revelations is more like a side story, but god damn is it good.
I'll second that. Revelations is really good. I still haven't finished a Persona game because they're too much for me. Just like
Holy cow.
an actual like full size pot pie. I cannot finish one, but
I always
Yeah,
just eat
they're a
the
lot.
crust. I love the crust. That's the best part of the pot pie.
except for when you microwave them and like the
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
becomes super duper burnt because like they'll say microwave it for 10 minutes and you do it and it's burnt. It's like, well, I guess I'm not eating fucking anything for lunch.
Do you not keep an eye on it?
Thanks.
You got to keep your face glued to
No.
that screen. You got to push your face right up against that door.
The box
That's how you
told
get
me 10
radiation
minutes.
poisoning.
It's worth it.
I mean, you're right, but speaking of radiation, Pizza Dinosaur, he says, I don't know if this counts, but it's got to be Dynasty Warriors 2 and onward. Spin-off of not only Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but the original Dynasty Warriors was a fighting game.
Ah.
That is true.
I learned something
Is
new.
it really a spinoff?
I didn't know that.
Oh, things you learn.
Distorted Rules said Thronebreaker, The Witcher's Tales, and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Hell yeah, dude.
Of
Metal Gear
course.
Rising Revengeance rules.
That game will never die.
No.
Nope.
No, it won't.
Bill. Hey,
It's
Bill. Hey,
Oh, there he
what's up?
is.
What's up, buddy? He says Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is an interesting one. While I can't say the gameplay is perfect, the unique write and character perspective always made me find it, always made me find it much more interesting than the main series later on. The Mystery Dungeon is pretty good.
I wish I could get into those.
They're very they are what they are. I tried one of them. It was I think it was Tornico's Mystery Dungeon because it's because it was the Dragon Quest one.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, I am a Dragon Quest fan. So if it has Dragon Quest on it, I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And it's fine. But they're all it's procedurally generated dungeons. You push the A button to win.
They are what they
it
are.
is what
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's cool that like a character like Tornico, because he's from Dragon Quest IV, and he's the weapon salesman. In fact, you spend the little chapter that you're introduced to him, you literally spend it like trying to like set up your shop and like working for another guy.
Oh.
So it's cool to get that perspective of like you're a merchant in an RPG world. So you spend some time literally behind the counter waiting for people to come in. And they're like, oh, I want to buy this. And then you buy. And they're like, oh, I got this to sell. I sell this, and you do that for a little bit.
That is cool.
I'm so glad there's another Dragon Quest fan here. Finally, it's our time.
I like the Dragon
right.
Quest game I played, the most recent one. I didn't play it all
11?
the way through, but I played a whole lot of it.
Oh, 11's great.
Yeah.
It made me a fan.
Yep.
Do we read Ugly Kid Joe Cross's second thing, or do we?
No, that
doesn't count.
That's a reply.
That doesn't count. Okay. Dracus Beast King says Sonic Generations for me.
Generations isn't a spinoff.
Sonic absolutely spins in that game.
I mean,
no, come on. Generations is like a mainline game.
I don't know which one that is.
Good, though.
There's too many.
I don't care. It's good.
It's the one from 2011 where you go between like old Sonic, like old chubby Sonic, and then modern green-eyed Sonic.
I think that counts.
It's
yeah.
Good.
I'm also a Sonic fan. That's my curse. Like the Greek myth about how Atlas has to carry the world on his shoulders. That's what I have to do with Sonic. Yeah, every day I have to carry that blue fuck around.
Make sure he keeps spinning.
Yes.
Hey man, yeah, that's fine. I'll defend Generations and the two Sonic Adventure games until the day I die because they're good.
Yeah, I beat Colors not that long ago, and it holds up. It's a fun game.
Yeah. Speaking of all that, Mikey Tabletop, he says Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yep.
Oh God, I haven't played that one.
He's got a gun.
As as bad as it is, like as aggressively mid as it is, it's actually kind of fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
In fact, on a Bill's Gaming and Collecting podcast, there is 2 episodes. I think they're 127 and 131, where me and him go through Sonic. So one is all the 2D ones, and the other is all the 3D ones.
Nice.
And so there's the bit where he's telling me about Shadow the Hedgehog, and I just can't stop laughing because because I never played it as a kid. I always saw it, and I remember it was 2005, so I was about 11, I think. And as an 11-year-old, I was like, no, absolutely not.
Motorcycles and guns, dude.
That's all you need.
Pretty cool.
Something was off. Something was off.
The Butcher 21 says Final Fantasy Tactics on GBA. Hell yes. I don't know if it would be considered a spin-off or not, but I still play it on my Game Boy SP from time to time. I'm also enjoying Pokemon Sleep. It's been a fun way of trying to have better sleeping habits. Also, the spin-off of the series Michonne Tales from the Walking Dead Telltale series. Samira Wiley voices Michonne, and I adore her. The story was also really good.
You sound like an AI saying that.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I have Final Fantasy Tactics on the GBA. It's great. Fantastic game.
Good.
I played Pokemon Sleep for a while, and I felt bad about not getting enough sleep, so I stopped playing.
But I want to preface Final Fantasy Tactics on the GBA is called Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh.
And it's not when I got it, I thought, it's the PS1 Final Fantasy Tactics ported to GBA. It is not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It is different.
I assumed it was the same.
It's very confusing. As much as I like tactics games, but like when I'm within the battles, I understand what I'm doing, but outside of it with the map and the treasure hunting and everything, it all kind of washed over me, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's interesting.
I just want to fight people.
I wouldn't expect Final Fantasy games to have difficult naming conventions.
You'd have a hell of a time with Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2 on the DS.
Stop.
Weird that they kind of almost kept the advanced part in there despite being a DS game.
I love that. I wonder if that's going to send me down a rabbit hole. We gotta leave.
Adam, Revival and Extinction, he says Persona 3 as a spin-off to Shin Megami Tensei and Miles Edgeworth Investigations as a spin-off to the Ace Attorney series. Both really good picks. I like those.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Persona 4 guy.
Persona 4. You're an exact carbon copy of Bill. His favorite Dragon Quest is also 4. He also really loves Persona 4.
Well, my favorite Dragon Quest is 11, but 4 is my favorite of the 2D ones.
Ew, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Okay, I take it back. Sorry.
Yeah, but I haven't really played Ace Attorney. I have the trilogy on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's very good, but I think I'd rather play those games on the DS. They're
The,
made for it.
The Miles Edgeworth ones are really weird because instead of like investigating crime scenes in first person, it's like third person, and you walk around and talk to people, and it's weird.
So it's like, is it like Grim Fandango almost?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. 8-Bit Alchemy said, spin-offs, huh? I'm going to say Monster Hunter Stories.
Ooh, that's a good
I've
one.
heard those are good.
I've also
Those are
heard those
fun.
are good. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Do we have?
And then,
Thanks a fucking lot.
Do we have the VIP? did anyone answer? Oh, we did. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
we got 2 actually.
If you pay us money, you get into the special section of the Discord.
Where it's pretty much just me asking questions and like I don't know what to do.
But everyone knows that
there.
you paid money.
That's
Yeah.
true. You have that
No, he posts pictures of his feet, and he's like, "Do these look weird, guys?
Does these look weird,
They look weird, right?"
Dude, these feet make my ass look big.
Would you pay more money for these?
So I asked the patrons here, what's the funniest? Tommy asked it. This is his question. What is the funniest game or moment in a game you've experienced? And Chris ANC, he says all of God Hand. That game is a fucking comedic masterpiece.
It really is.
I haven't played it, but the cover looks cool.
Oh, dude, the cover doesn't really do the game justice. You know, the cover gives it like Final Fight Streetwise vibes or like Def Jam vibes, but it's not that at all. God Hand was Clover, the company that also did like, well, they were the little dev team within Capcom that did Beautiful Joe and Okami and left to form Platinum. So I view God Hand as a Platinum game, and yeah, it kind of fits in with like say Metal Gear Rising or Bayonetta or something like that. So
to quote our very, very good friend and partial co-host Wikipedia, the game was directed by Shinji Mikami, who desired to create the game for hardcore gamers, intermixed with a large amount of comedic relief. Thanks,
he's not
Wikipedia.
wrong. It very is like a gamer game.
It's a game.
You know what I mean?
Gamer game for gamers.
Like a filthy casual's not going to play God Hand and appreciate it. They're really not.
This isn't Call of Duty. No, sorry, I'm not going to say that. No.
We just lost the Call of Duty audience. They're checking out. They're closing the app.
Fuck.
They don't know what to do with themselves. They're not playing Warzone.
Jameson (bar silence end parentheses) said, "So many of the unrelenting zingers that GLaDOS makes at your expense in Portal 2 are still super funny to me."
Oh yeah,
I agree.
I was reminded of the Lemon speech a while ago, which isn't GLaDOS, but
it still counts.
Oh yeah.
I wish we got another Portal. I want to know.
Well, Valve is afraid of the number 3.
They are.
They really are. Holy hell.
Thanks for the money and thanks for the answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But enough of the common folk. Let's get to just us talking about video games, right? That's what the people are here for.
Yes. A special short bus folk. Yeah.
Yes. And what's our topic today, Aaron?
Best spin-off games.
Was that your dramatic entrance?
Yeah, I was trying to do like a Family Feud kind of thing, but it didn't work. I don't know what I was going for. Spin-off games.
Aaron has 30 minutes to live, so we've got to get through these games.
Shit.
Spin-off games. What do you guys look for in a good spin-off game? What makes a spin-off game good as opposed to bad?
Well, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I guess with spin-offs, I think they just have to be good, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Like being faithful to its like parent franchise helps, but it's not always like necessary. you know,
Mhm.
because you get, say, like
Yeah.
the Persona series, where I think most people wouldn't even realize that's a spin-off of Shin Megami
It's
Tensei.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, like even up to Persona 4 when it first came out on the PS2, it was still called Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4.
Ridiculous.
So, yeah.
I've,
So,
I've got a couple of curveballs on my list,
Oh,
but I'll
me
save
too.
those for later. Yeah, super
Okay,
curveballs.
start us off with
ooh.
an obvious one then, Aaron.
yeah, what you
Okay.
got?
Start us off with one that kind of influenced the podcast. It's the Mario and Luigi series.
Yes.
Oh, yes. There's a million Mario spin-offs.
Yeah, there is.
I went with them because I like Mario Kart and I like Mario Party. I like all the Marios, but if there's one I could keep coming back to time and time again and just play for whatever I guess amount of time, it's Mario and Luigi series for sure, right? Like the SuperPod, or well, not SuperPod, sorry, Superstar Saga. Because it's on Switch now, you can play it anywhere, anytime, and it looks great, plays well still. Even if you don't have like the remakes on the 3DS, who gives a goddamn? The original versions still play incredibly well, look well, and sound well. What
The
do
writing
you
is
guys
so
think?
funny. The
Oh, yes.
way that they make fun of Luigi constantly tickles me all the time. And there's
No, Green Mario.
there's so many little
Little who?
details that they didn't need to add. Like when you get your picture taken for your passport right at the beginning, you can hit the D-pad to change the face you're making. They didn't need to
Yeah.
do that, but it just adds a little layer of fun.
Oh, and the there's all sorts of little cool, tiny, dumb details that I love about particularly Superstar Saga that I guess kind of carried over to the rest of them. Like one of my favorite little dumb things is like when you use an item in battle, like a mushroom or something, and they throw it up in the air, and then they gulp it down, and you
Yeah.
see it going down their throat. Like I think that's super charming and cool
Or-
because like they didn't have to do that. They could have just like held it up in the air like any other video game, and then just boink.
When
Health.
Or when one of them like falls and then they grab the other like and put them on their back, and then it makes like
Yeah.
jumping and dodging like much harder.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
they gave Luigi powers, he got the lightning power.
Mario got fire.
For some reason.
Yeah, really. It was still cool.
Yeah.
Such a great game.
So that's your favorite in the Mario and Luigi games, or is that your favorite Mario RPG in general?
Ooh.
That's tough because I think I like Bowser's Inside Story more, but it's tough because Superstar Saga is like, man, that's
Hey, Aaron,
yes.
what's your favorite Paper Mario game?
I haven't beaten any of them.
You sinner.
Thousand Year Door, I guess.
You haven't
There
played
you
it.
go.
But I have it. I own it, but I haven't played it.
Well, hey, they announced a remake, so that's coming next year.
Woohoo!
About fucking time.
My
It's about time.
that's my favorite Mario and Luigi RPG game is the Paper Mario 1000-Year Door.
Bug Fables was cool.
Bug Fables was cool.
Bug
It
Fables
was
is good.
inspired by
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's very
you
Sea
played
of
more Bug
Stars.
Fables than you played Paper
Yeah.
Mario.
That's true.
I'm not
You're
bitter.
a cretin. Like, dude, Paper Mario, the N64 is on the N64.
I
Play
know.
that.
It's on the N64.
It's very good.
I've played the first couple of hours and I stopped because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play something else.
I'm gonna
I'll
go
come
play
back
Call
to
of
it."
Duty. I'm gonna go play Call of Duty.
I'm gonna play Persona.
Fuck, you found me out. Next.
That's great. That's great picks.
I actually just started playing Bowser's Inside Story for the first
Oh.
time.
Yeah, dude.
I'm about 2.5 hours in, and
it's-
it is very good.
It is
Like better than Superstar Saga good.
I need to play
it's
it
like I especially love the parts where what is it when you're playing as Bowser, he plays just so radically different from how Mario and Luigi play because they could have just made it just like them or something boring and dumb, but instead they're like, haha, instead of jumping, he can block. He just goes into his shell and he blocks. He has fire breath. He has his dog. He has Broggy who can jump in and attack. He has his minions. It's rad as hell.
I like you can wind up his punch and just absolutely clobber enemies, and he just like has so much weight to him when you're controlling him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun, and it's like the most playable Bowser's ever been in a
Oh, yeah,
video game,
for sure.
and it's great. You know, I've always had a soft spot for Bowser.
The biggest crime of the 21st century is that we won't get another Mario and Luigi game because they shut the studio down.
Well, to be fair, I think Alpha Dream kind of did it to themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because how bad of a situation does a company have to be in to where they have to rely on a 3DS remake of a game that you could already play on a 3DS
Yeah.
selling well enough, you
Yeah.
know? Like, I get why they remade Bowser's Inside Story, but, like, if they had just pivoted to do it on the Switch,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it probably would have done really well. We'd all
Absolutely.
be like, yeah, it's one of the must-play games on the Switch.
Absolutely.
But-
I agree with you.
Oh, well.
Speaking of games on handheld, my first pick is Daxter for the PlayStation Portable.
Oh, God.
Whoa, what does that mean?
I've played it. I think I got like halfway through before I was bored, to be honest.
When did you play it? Did you play it in 2006?
No.
Okay.
No, I played it on my modded Vita.
Ah.
It was actually like the first PSP game I played on it, because when I had a PSP back in the day, I didn't really play games on it. I just kind of used it as like a makeshift like music player and searching the internet for, well, we don't need to get into that. But yeah, I didn't, and that's the thing. I had the God of War one.
Yep.
It came with Chains of Olympus. I barely played it.
Huh.
So I'm trying to like catch up a little bit on that. And I tried some Daxter because I was curious. I've haven't played a lot of the Jack and Daxter games, to be fair.
Daxter's the only one I've ever played.
Oh, well, there we go. And it's fine, but it definitely feels like a B team game.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. In 2006, it was very cool. It was gosh, how do I even describe it? It was definitely a product of its time, just because like there are dream sequences in the game where Daxter dreams these in different movies. So there's like Lord of the Rings, there's Indiana Jones, there's a Braveheart segment.
Oh my God, you weren't fucking kidding.
Oh, he pulled it out.
told
He's
you.
flirting with magic.
So yeah, it was definitely a product of its time. And in 2006, it was just really cool to have a fully 3D exploring. It wasn't quite open world, but just having the ability to play one of those games, and it looked real pretty. It was one of the better looking PSP games. I agree.
Yeah,
it's the
They didn't put it on PS2, did they?
no, it's a PSP exclusive.
Okay, because I know there was a string of PSP games that they were just like, just throw it on PS2.
Not Daxter.
Like I think Secret Agent Clank, they did that. The inferior game to this, but yeah. But Daxter, it's fine.
Yeah, I actually
It's not a bad game by any means.
after I dug my PSP out of storage and blew off the dust, Daxter was the game that was in there. And so after charging, I played it and I was like, this still looks really good, but man, this gameplay sure hasn't aged well.
Yeah, it feels like empty.
Mhm,
Like there's not a lot to do. You know, like I
Yes.
haven't played the Jack and Daxter games, so I'm hoping they're better than this. But I don't know. People tend to put Jack and Daxter on a bit of a pedestal these days.
Yeah.
So
You do. What about you then, Mr. Thrak? What's your first game?
okay. I figured I guess I'll throw a little bit of a curveball. Typing of the Dead.
Hey, that's a good pick.
Oh yes, I'm assuming both of you have played it.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't play
I haven't
scary
played
games.
it, but yeah,
Okay,
we,
so-
oh, go ahead. Go.
So Typing of the Dead, it released on the Sega Dreamcast back in the day, and is a literal spin-off of House of the Dead 2, which I believe is considered the best one in the series, where instead of using a light gun to shoot all your zombies, or a controller if you were poor, you brought out your Dreamcast keyboard, you plugged it in to your Dreamcast, and you typed little phrases on top of the enemies' heads to kill them. And somehow it's the best game in the series.
That
I
is-
don't know why, but there is just something about like typing zombies to death that is just very satisfying. And a lot of the words and phrases they give you are very silly. And then the cutscenes, instead of your characters having like guns, they have like these weird like energy backpacks and with like keyboards strapped to the front of them. So it's like if you saw it in third person, they would just be like, "Oh God, a zombie's coming!" Okay, they're dead. You know, it like it plays up how silly House of the Dead doesn't take itself that seriously, anyways. But it just kind of adds to that silliness, but gives it a bit of a left field sort of control that makes it really, really fun. You know, and many years, and I remember back in the middle school days, I used to play a lot of a Typer Shark. in the computer class. If any of you know what Typer Shark is,
Mm.
it's a very similar concept where you're this little submarine guy that's going down to the bottom, and there's like sharks coming at you, and you have to like type the words to kill them, kind of thing. There's even bosses where it's like submarines are trying to shoot missiles at you, but if you type like cat, it'll fling the missile back in front of them, of course. So
Naturally,
yeah,
as
yeah.
a shark does. Yep.
So yeah. Typing games are kind of fun. You know,
That's a
they're just a different way of playing a game.
yeah, that's a good pick because it's an unexpected spin-off. That's the way I couldn't think of spin-off. It's an unexpected spin-off that like shouldn't make sense, but it does.
Yeah, and also shout out to the GBA game Pinball of the Dead, where they turn House of the Dead into a pinball game. That's a lot of fun as
Ooh,
well.
Pinball of the Dead. I'm a sucker for a good pinball video game.
Yes.
Oh, you should look it up. It's a really good game. I have it.
Right now.
I'm a little bit of a GBA collector, so I have that one.
Nice. It's me now.
It's you.
It's me. My next.
It's a me.
It's we'll go with Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor. Like I said, I haven't ever beaten a Persona game because they're too much for me, but I do love the main series Shin Megami Tensei games, as well as most of the spin-offs in the Devil Survivor series is right up my alley, because instead of being like a regular turn-based RPG, it's more like a tactics RPG. Basically, it's set in like a nearly apocalyptic Tokyo, I guess. Basically, Tokyo is like, I guess, quarantined, sort of, from the rest of the world. And the main characters can see, basically every person has like this little clock or a timer above their head, which measures like it's like their remaining lifespan. Most of the game, you're basically preventing certain people's deaths and stuff, and because depending on how many people you save, you'll get a different ending at the end of the game. And it's super weird compared to other games, because like you don't, rather than recruiting demons by talking to them through battle or them joining you at the end of battle or something like that, instead you recruit demons through auctions. Like you just straight up buy demons through auctions, like online auctions. And of course you still fuse them into other bigger, badder megalo demons. And this just has a really cool story too. I haven't beaten this one as well either, because the last boss is a bastard, but it's super cool. And the combat is really cool too. So like I said, it's a tactics RPG. So you'll be out in the field and you'll move your, like each character can have up to like 3 demons, like a team of 3 demons. And so you move your characters around the field, and then when you come in contact with like a demon or see like an enemy or whatever, then it'll cut to like a turn-based combat, where each demon gets its own turn in battle. But in typical Shin Megami Tensei fashion, if you hit their weakness or you hit them with a critical hit, you'll get an extra turn basically. So after everybody has their turn, you'll get to the extra turn round, I think is what it's called, and then you just kill them. And yeah, it's really fun. It's DS and 3DS now. I really wish they would make a new one, because you really don't need that second screen. You do not need it.
Is it just for like showing like ruined Tokyo?
Kind of ish. Like when you're in like the, I guess, visual novel parts where it's like dialogue and shit.
Mm-hmm.
One screen will show like the characters talking, and then the second screen will just kind of like show the background. But during combat, like the bottom screen is where you'll move your characters, and you'll see like the timeline of events, like which character is going next and shit. And then the top screen shows the like if you're highlighting an enemy, it'll show like what their party's health and stuff is at. Basically, just show stats of whoever you're highlighting.
Okay. So since it's a tactics RPG, does it play like a Fire Emblem or like a Shining Force, or like how's it play?
I'd say more Shining Force, because
Ooh.
like in Fire Emblem, you attack, the enemy gets a chance to attack back, and vice versa. But like Shining Force, you just attack and bam, it's over. But
and no permadeath.
Well, maybe. No, yeah, that is it. Because yeah, and I don't remember if there is permadeath or not. I think there is. I don't remember.
Come on, Aaron.
I'll have to look it up.
It's
I've been curious to those games, hearing that they were tactical games. So I would like to play them at some point.
You should.
into it.
The 3DS versions not only look better and they're made to fit the big old screen of the 3DS, but they add a lot more content, especially the first game. It adds a whole extra day with lots, like an extra character and like a bunch of other shit. Yeah, they're really good.
And because they're on the 3DS, they're probably what, $300?
Oh, fucking
Minimum.
probably now.
Cool.
Something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Speaking of games where you move on grids, my next pick is Metal Gear Acid.
Oh,
What?
Did you ever beat
Thrak,
that?
what?
those are mid. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I've never. I'm playing it right now. I'm not all the way through, but I'm very far, and it is.
This is a PSP
It's a
hour
PSP
over here.
game. I just realized that after I said it too. I love and hate it so much. It is.
That's a good way of
It
describing
is
it.
breaking my brain in so many ways because it just does so many things in the stupidest way. But like, I can't stop playing and trying to work my way into its systems the way it wants me to. But I don't know what
Yeah.
it wants from me. It's
Yeah,
it's
it reminds me a little bit of playing like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories or something.
Oh, I could see that. Yep.
Yeah,
like
another shit. Well, that game sucks, but that's a whole nother topic.
imagine a tactical. It's if you haven't played it, it's Metal Gear Solid, but a card based tactics game. Imagine taking a tactics game and imagine taking a deck building game and making way too many mechanics for each set of that half of the equation and putting it into a stealth action game. It's
You'd swear
What the
Kojima you'd
fuck?
swear Kojima directed it, but he didn't.
which is amazing to me because even the story
Yeah.
is so far out there. I don't know.
They're not canon.
I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, they're not canon, which is good because none of it makes. I don't know how it could be.
Yeah, thank God.
Just-
Could you imagine like if like Konami's going to keep doing this Metal Gear re-release collection that they threw the acid games in
Oh,
there?
I hope so.
Uh,
I would.
I would die.
Just as like a sign of how stupid this is. You get 6 cards in your hand. For Snake, you can play 2 cards per turn, but like to move, you have to discard a card. So that takes up one of your 2 card plays. And
Okay.
to use a gun, you have to select the gun card and equip it into your inventory. You can't use it, you have to equip it, and then you have to use another gun card that uses the same ammo type and select it and load it into the gun in your inventory. So you can't use a pistol gun to load your AK-47 card.
How does this game have a 75 on Metacritic? What the fuck?
I get it.
Bitches be shopping.
I will say if
they do.
I've been playing it on an emulator, don't tell anyone, and having the
Oh,
ability
nobody cares.
having the ability to quick save and quick load. If I did not have that, I would not be able to play this game because
Yeah.
there is so much that is unclear when you're playing the game about like what is going to trigger someone to see you or what is like the first time I threw a grenade and I throw it and I'm like, cool, this is going to work. And I didn't know how time worked yet because time is a very important thing. And the enemy just walked away and then it exploded. And I was like, why did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, a friend of mine let me borrow this for my PSP back in the day because he was a big Metal Gear. I'm constantly surrounded by Metal Gear Solid like fanboys,
Me too.
and like I like the games. Don't get me wrong, but I don't love them. You know, like I want to sit down and play all of them. I've only ever beaten Solid 3, which is an amazing game. But I'd like to try them. But I remember I played this one, and I just my like I don't know 12-year-old brain could
Oh my gosh,
not.
I couldn't imagine.
No,
There's no
like
way.
and that's the thing. It took me forever to figure out how turn-based RPGs worked compared to tactical ones. Like it's so weird. Like the first RPG I ever played was Phantasy Star 2, and I hated it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't get it. Seriously. And then I played Shining Force 1, and that made sense.
Yeah.
That made sense to me.
Mhm.
I don't know. I viewed it as chess. You just move your pieces around
Exactly, yeah.
and you capture people, whatever, right? So I tried acid because he's like, oh, it's like a tactics game. I'm like, oh, well, let me give it a shot. And then I tried playing it, and yeah, all the card
then
stuff.
Your brain exploded.
Yes, I got Sora Vietnam flashbacks and returned it to him and said, no, thank you.
Could you?
No, thank you.
Could you imagine?
I've heard Acid 2 is better.
Me too, but I got to play Acid 1 first. I can't.
You got to get that sweet acid lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine like Sora, Donald, and Goofy flying off in like a Vietnam era chopper while like Fortunate Son start
Gore Shotacon. Gore.
I just want to.
It's Gray Fox, Sora.
Tommy,
Yeah.
do a Donald Duck.
I can't do a Donald Duck.
Oh, you can?
No.
Oh,
I'm not even
Yes,
gonna try.
you can. You've done it before.
I can't.
Aaron,
I know you.
Stop making things up about me.
my mom can do a Donald Duck
Do a
impression.
Donald
My
Duck
dad
voice
can
when you
too.
play your Steam
I should
Deck.
call my dad and have him do it.
Yeah,
Always
my
probably
mom can
sing
do one. It's not half bad, and it always. I'm like, how the fuck can you do that?
Gosh, Donald, I'm having the PTSD.
Donald, cast Kiraga on the Sora before the nobodies. Take him to Organization 13.
Oh, fuck you, Goofy, or whatever he says.
I just love just Goofy saying JRPG lore. I just love that.
I don't know how long old it is. It was a YouTube video where it was Evanescence, except it was Goofy singing it, and so that's what.
Oh yeah. I think I've heard that one. Wake me up
me up.
inside.
Can't wake up. Save me.
Save me.
I just before we move on,
That's a good one.
I just want to have this I want to have this recorded so that people can hear it. I was talking about time in Metal Gear Acid. So like in usual tactics games, like, you take your turn, the opponent takes their turn, you take your turn, etc. Right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Imagine if instead they introduce time, and when you play a card, it adds time between when you can play your next card. So if you play your gun card that has like a 7 cost, it adds 7 to your time, and everyone in the arena has a different time number. And after you're done with your turn, everyone's time counter goes down. Whoever gets to 0 first, it's their turn. Then they play cards adding to their time counter. Why?
Now,
Why?
when you say time, are you talking about like the spice or
No.
like
Aaron,
THYME?
stop. This is a
Okay, no, I
serious
get it.
podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
Stop making
My
All
jokes.
right, guys, let's roll back the clock. It's been 0 days since we've had a bad joke.
No, that does. I don't know how you can play. You play that while you're at work too,
I
don't
do,
you?
yeah.
I don't know how you do that. You talk
Playing
to
that game
people.
feels like work.
It does.
totally
It sounds like every time Tommy
every
texts me about it, I have to like stop what I'm doing and kind of really think about it. Like, huh?
every
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, it's like reading an owner's manual for like some really
Fucking
complicated
Chevy
piece
Malibu
of
or
machinery.
something.
every time
I drive a Chevy Malibu. How dare you?
Whoa.
Oh. My bad. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Don't make the user manual so complicated.
Yeah, because I wrote them
Yeah.
all.
This is
You
your
made
fault.
you made the car. I know, and you said you did.
I got a job as a car manual writer.
Someone does write those. Someone has
What a
that
fucking
job.
Well, they
job.
type them, but yeah.
Huh.
A typist.
What'd you call me?
Typographer.
Thrak. What's your next? What's your
Typer.
next
I
game?
hardly know her. Anyway.
Typer, no typing.
Our jokes per minute is going up so fast.
Oh man.
Gosh.
Yuck.
All right, but my next spin-off that I really like. It's weird that this started as a spin-off, but in a way has kind of overtaken the main series, and I'm not talking about Persona. Instead, I'm talking about Forza Horizon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I need
Now-
to, I'm gonna give you a super long ooh.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
really like that
We're gonna be
one.
Yeah,
howling
'cause-
like wolves soon.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
Ozzy
it-
Osbourne.
Yeah, if anybody knows me, I'm an Xbox guy. Sorry, PlayStation. I am an Xbox guy.
That's fine.
And,
Xbox guys too.
And when I got my Series X, it was the Forza Horizon 5 bundle.
Hmm.
And so I've put some time into it. I haven't played like a huge amount of hours into it, but that game is really fun. And so much so that I've gone back and played some of the others. Like I have Horizon 1. For some reason, it's
Whoa.
backwards compatible. I don't know how. And it's fine. It's a little slippery. It doesn't feel as good as the modern ones. Haven't touched Horizon 2. Horizon 3 is really good. Horizon 4 is also really good, but 5 definitely feels like the peak, where they took this like hardcore simulation racer in Forza Motorsport and were able to make it like an open world, fun, arcadey type of racer where you can just lose yourself, just driving around, breaking XP signs, um, having races with like fighter jets and somehow winning, going up volcanoes and destroying like surveying equipment. Just they're very wacky. They're wacky and they're a lot of fun, and I really enjoy them. And it gives me like the more I play the Horizon games, it gives me more faith in Playground, the company that makes them, because right now, as some of you may know, they are working on the Fable reboot, and I need to play more Fable. But Fable is known for being kind of silly as well. So we've had that one trailer that was really silly with the dude from the It Crowd talking about growing vegetables. So it gives me faith that Playground will capture the essence of Fable, the more kind of sillier side. And they can focus on that part while I think Eidos Montreal is helping out on it as well. So they can help with like the combat system and the more mechanical side of the game as well. So, but yeah, Forza Horizon, it's really good. I really like Horizon 5. Don't tell Forza fans because I guess they don't like it. But really? I tend to like it. Oh, I've seen quite a few YouTube videos where people do not like the Forza Horizon, like the more hardcore racing fan people tend not to like the Horizons after 3.
Interesting.
I
loved it. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's like 20-minute videos of them breaking down all these very little minute things about it, and I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I just really enjoy fucking around. Yeah. Like Horizon is the perfect just fucking around game. And I have a blast with it. It's definitely more for casual people.
Absolutely.
And it kind of surprises me Gran Turismo has yet to do anything like this, like at all. They don't have any sort of like open world, racing game where you can fuck around. I mean, there's Burnout Paradise, which is also an amazing game, but it's weird. Gran Turismo hasn't done that. They just stick to the simulation stuff.
I loved Forza Horizon 4. That was the first.
Yes.
I don't play a lot of racing games, and but Forza Horizon 4 hooked me hard. Like I just like you said, it's just messing around. It's just going around. Like here's a race over here. Let's do it. And I had just been like playing it for weeks on end, and then one day after a race, I got an achievement for completing all the races in the game, and I was like, what? Like I wasn't even trying to do it. I was just having fun, and I happened to do all the races.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very easy to kind of get sucked into them, especially those road courses where they're like just miles of just like one just kind of long track. Like those are fun because those are the ones where I actually get challenged, if that makes any sense. Because the lap courses, you can kind of breeze through those. But when it's like a 10-mile stretch of road, there's one guy who just kind of barrels ahead of you and you're trying so hard to catch up to him and you almost do, but you whiff a turn. You're like, God damn it.
Was it 5 that had the Warthog Halo mission?
I think 4. No, I think it was 4.
I think it was 4 too. Yeah, there's one race where you're just in a Warthog and it has Cortana like giving you telling you things or where to go and like what to do, and there's ships flying overhead. It's like Halo but in England.
Yeah, that means it's canon, right?
It's really fun. They just have so much fun with that game.
Yeah, like I recommend the Horizon games for people who aren't really into racing games. Yeah, because I mean, you have your Mario Karts and everything, and Mario Kart is fine. I'd rather just play a new one at this point. But the Horizon games, I think, might be more appealing to, I guess, like more casual people. More casual kind of like video game people because it's like a nice, slick, realistic looking. Like they all look gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And they play really well and what I like about Horizon is you can make it as like simulation as you want, or you can completely dial it back and just make it a fun kind of just fucking around arcade racer. And you'll get a fun experience out of it either way.
It makes you feel like you're a really good racer, even though you're probably not. Like I adore the guiding line that changes colors based on when you're supposed to brake or when you're supposed to gas. And
Yeah.
this is the only game that has the trigger rumble, which actually feels like it helps. Like when I'm going through a turn, I can feel that rumble getting harder and knowing like I'm about to lose control, got to let go a little bit. Like I don't think it, but it's just instinctively. Like you get to learn the cars and the feel and everything, and that's such a cool feeling for someone who isn't probably good at racing games.
Yeah, like I'm not usually a fan of rumble that much in video game controllers. Like for could be just me, but the Series X rumble I think is like way too aggressive.
Mhm.
And
Definitely
usually
can
when
be.
it rumbles, I like put it down, or I try to like turn it down if I
Just like,
can.
ugh,
So
what
it's
is this?
It's like way too hard,
So you
man.
picked up a bird.
So your favorite
Something like
controller
that.
was the launch PS3 controller, then?
No,
rumble in that
I've
baby.
see, I've never been a fan of Sony controllers like ever in my life. They just don't feel right to me. The Vita controls are solid, but they just don't feel right to me. But I've yet to hold a DualSense, so
Same.
maybe I'd like that one.
Hey, Tommy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you pick my next one. Should I do another racing game or should I do a sports game?
Sports.
Ooh,
I can't believe you're
let's
talking
do
about
some
a sports game.
Yeah,
Sports?
I'm
Oh,
here for
man.
some spurts.
Are you
Sports.
guys ready?
Better be something good.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Mega Man Soccer.
What is that a real game?
Yeah, the SNES, baby, Mega Man Soccer. So you can play as different robot masters from previous Mega Man games. I think it goes up to like Mega Man 4. Yeah, they all pretty much play the exact same, except for each one has like a power shot. And it's like reminiscent of their attacks from the Mega Man games. So like, what is it? Heat Man, he sets the ball on fire. I forget what the fuck anybody else does. Mega Man just charges it up like with this fucking charge shot. And it's I don't know why it exists. I don't know why they thought Mega Man Soccer would be a cool idea, but it's kind of cool. It's got exhibition matches and yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play.
I can't believe of all the goddamn sports games you could have picked, you decided
it's a
on
spin-off.
Mega Man Soccer. I mean, you could have said NFL Street, right? You could
I
have
had that on
said
PSP.
yeah, dude, I love the NFL Street games. You could have the NBA Street. You could
I
have
haven't played
fucking
those. Though.
NBA Street's good too.
could have said Mario Golf. You could have,
But-
I don't know, fucking Hot Shots Golf.
I don't think Aaron's
you
played
coulda
any of
went,
these.
yeah.
Aaron's not a
Oh,
sportsman.
dude, I like the sports
Aaron,
games.
who's
Like,
your favorite baseball player?
Albert
There
Pujols.
you go.
Who the fuck is that?
Does he not have the best last name ever? Pujols, dude. Implying that he poos out of other holes.
Reminds me of that one baseball player who was like, I shit my pants last night. You know that guy?
No.
Oh, somebody like took that clip and made a little song out of it. It's great.
Tommy, please
I'm
tell the story.
gonna send it in the Discord.
Oh my god! One of my favorite running gags on our show is Tommy talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Kurt Schilling,
Kurt
and how he
Schilling.
he sold like a bloody sock for $100,000 or something.
Yeah, he do you know
What?
who Kurt Schilling is?
No.
Do you know the
Strap
game
yourself in,
Kingdoms
Thrak.
of Amalur Reckoning?
Yeah, I know that game.
Well, then you know Kurt Schilling.
Oh,
No, he
God.
was a baseball player, a very, very good baseball player, but he was super into World of Warcraft. So when he retired, he was like, I'm gonna make my own World of Warcraft. So he went to the
no.
state of Rhode Island and was like, hey, if you give me millions of dollars in a loan, I will create a video game studio here and make the next World of Warcraft. And they're like, okay, here's $69 million, go nuts. And
69.
they made
Nice.
they made Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning as a proof of concept, as we're gonna make money with this game to fund our MMO, but he doesn't.
Oh, so Kingdoms of Amalur wasn't going to be the MMO
No.
because that's just what, like an action RPG
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
Okay.
And Kurt Schilling doesn't know how to run a business, and
Who does? Who really does?
he wanted people to work the same way that pitchers do in baseball, where they work one day and then have 4 days off and then come in and work a day. Things like that. And
What a fucking goblin.
so the company went under, it went bankrupt, and the state of Rhode Island didn't get its money back from them. So the state of Rhode Island almost went bankrupt. Kurt Schilling went bankrupt. He lost all his baseball money, so he had to have an auction where he sold some of his baseball memorabilia, including a bloody sock, which is from one of his World Series pitching performances where he hurt his foot and it was bleeding, but he pitched through it anyways. It's a very famous sock, and he sold it for millions of dollars to not go bankrupt.
Oh, millions? Really?
Or was it thousands? It was probably thousands. It couldn't have been
I
millions.
thought it was like 100K, but
I don't remember.
Ooh.
But it was
yeah.
So that's
crazy.
Kurt Schilling.
That was wacky.
That is wacky. That's our show.
That's the show. Oh shoot, it's my turn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
My next game is Bridge Constructor Portal, which is I think it's on Steam now.
Oh yeah, that wasn't. I thought that was a fan game.
No, it's a full-on game.
Hell
made by
yeah.
actual developers. I don't know how it started, but so yeah, that was kind of back in the mid-early phone game days. There was Bridge Constructor games where you would make bridges and so the cars could go across. Those never really interested me. But as soon as I saw the one that had Portal attached to it, I was like, well, this sounds neat. Let's check it out. And sure enough, it is neat. Imagine building bridges, but also having portals to go through walls. And it just like adds such a fun layer of complexity to a bridge constructing game, I guess. The puzzles make you think and make you rack your brain. It almost destroyed my phone because there's so much physics going on. And it does the portal thing of going places where you wouldn't expect it to, with and things going wrong in the lab. It's got a light sense of humor about it, and it's a really great idea, a really great crossover. It kind of reminds me of the current Power Wash Simulator crossovers, where it's like, let's just add a random thing to this game that already exists and see if it works, and it works.
Do you want to clean SpongeBob's pineapple?
Do you want to clean the motorcycle?
Do you want to clean Laura Croft's manor?
They did a Tomb Raider crossover?
Yes, Aaron.
Yes, they did, because
Why?
Power Wash Simulator is published by Square Enix.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know.
So that's how they got Tomb Raider, because
And
that's back when they
SpongeBob.
still owned Tomb Raider. Yeah, Square Enix, famous for its SpongeBob ownership. There's also a Final Fantasy VII one, so if you want to clean the bar, or clean one of the many robots that Cloud fights, you can do that.
There's a Warhammer 40K and Back to the Future ones coming as well.
Yes. I am a massive Power Wash fan. I played that game for like 90 hours. I cleaned everything you could clean. And so when the DLC comes out, I will clean that as well. It's got to be one of my most played games on my Xbox. I don't know why. Power Wash it fucking clicked with me. Like it is.
I'm gonna download it.
It's a great podcast game.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So listeners, if you're like me and you need something to do with your hands while you're listening to something, Power Wash.
Besides that,
yeah, Power Wash. It's good, clean fun for the whole family. Okay, because you're cleaning shit, and it video gameizes like a task you wouldn't do in real life. So that's great.
Yeah.
by the way, I'm looking at review scores for the bridge construction portal. Everybody else is like 9 out of 10, 4.7 out of 5, like 7 out of 10.
Like,
But
it's a
then-
series, man.
But then, like, a little grumpy bitch boy GameSoft fucking stumbles through the door and he's like 4 out of 10. What a fucking asshole.
There's always got to be one of them.
You make bridges.
There's portals.
What the fuck is your problem, GameSpot?
4 out of 10.
Yeah, a Steam review says, my brain forced me to play this game because of GLaDOS' presence.
Oh, man.
That's the only bad review I see, like, on the Steam front page, so not bad.
Thrak, it's your turn.
Oh, shit.
That's Thrackington. His full name is Thrackington.
Unfortunately. Okay. Again, another kind of a different one that I don't think people would view as a spin-off, but I think it counts. The Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
counts.
Yeah,
That was-
no, you're
that was
right.
that-
You're
That
right.
was a spin-off of SimCity, right?
SimCity. That's right. Good old Sid Meier, one of the great pioneers, I
The
think.
reason that I can never find
our time.
Civilization in my list of Steam games because I always forget it's Sid Meier's Civilization.
I know, it's just so fucking annoying. But yeah, like Sid Meier, kind of like a secret legend.
Yeah.
Like people, like I think people don't really talk about how much of like a groundbreaking guy he was in video games.
It rips.
You know, with Civilization, you know, starting up the Sim City and the Sims with Maxis and everything, and of course making, you know, the best game of all time, Sid Meier's Pirates. So, you know, just a huge groundbreaking man.
What's he up to?
You know, probably just soaking in the cash. I think
He's dead. Rip Sid.
He's not dead. I looked. He's not dead.
he's not. He is 69.
Oh, nice.
What a
He
boy.
had an autobiography that just came out 3 years ago.
All right. Yeah. I feel bad because why did I give Sid Meier credit for The Sims? Because he didn't make it. It was Will Wright. God damn it. It was Will Wright who made The Sims.
Right.
Hey.
Yes, because he formed the company Maxis that did SimCity and then later The Sims. Sorry, Sid Meier.
You get no
Sorry.
credit.
God damn it.
To quote Next Friday, the hit New Line Cinema film Next Friday, players fuck up. It's all good.
They do. Yeah, Will Wright, who is another secret legend. He's so secret I didn't know it was him. Yeah, because he formed Maxis and made, you know, The Sims and SimCity and Spore. Yes, everybody's favorite penis tool. But yeah, The Sims. One of those games that I think people don't really think about. You know what I mean? It's like it's an institution.
Yes.
You know, it just kind of exists. Like I've never been a big PC gamer, but we had a copy of The Sims. I don't know why. We had a copy of The Sims, and I used to pop that thing in our old like 2001 Gateway computer that ran Windows XP, and it was such a piece of shit. But it ran The Sims just fine. And hours, just like a part of me has a tough time understanding why The Sims is so popular. But another part of my brain, it's like it's the equivalent of it's like a fish tank game. You know what I mean? Where it's like the joy with it, and even maybe Civilization to a certain extent, is like the fish tank aspect of you're just sitting there looking at it happen. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, I do this, and then you just watch like the science experiment happen in front of you. And like The Sims is very like, I feel like The Sims kind of is part of the whole like internet voyeurism thing, where it's like people are just sort of obsessed with what everybody's doing at any time of the fucking day, right? And The Sims, I think a lot of the people who are obsessed with that shit really liked The Sims. You know, because they could just create this family and just sit there and watch them do stuff.
Hell yeah.
You know, and criticize them for not picking up their garbage when it's like, it's up to you to do that, you know? Like, you know? And of course, the soundtrack for the original Sims is burned into my brain. Like, when I found out it was on Spotify,
What?
Oh, no.
It is. And I get the warm, fuzzy feelings when I hear many of the classic tracks off of that soundtrack, man. It is so good.
Man.
So fucking good. Like, what's my favorite one?
I don't know.
It's it's Neighborhood. The track Neighborhood. If you play it, you would know it immediately.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's definitely one of those. Once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I know that track. So
The Sims is like the quietest mega hit there is. Like it's super popular, but no one talks about it. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's cool in a way.
Like for a long time, I think the first Sims was like the best-selling PC game ever. Yeah. Like it beat Myst, and Myst had been the biggest selling. That's another game that was like a huge hit that like nobody really talks about, right? But that was like the best-selling PC game for years. And then The Sims comes along and dethrones it. And then it was the biggest game for a while. In fact, I think the original Sims is still one of the best-selling games of all time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Holy
like,
fuck.
Like the original Sims on PC has sold 11 million copies.
The Sims 4 has been out since 2014.
Yep.
It's the number
as of September 2023. It has 14 expansion packs, 12 game packs, 18 stuff packs, and 25 kits.
Yep.
They're still making them. They're still coming out.
The original Sims is the 12th best-selling PC game of all time.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
But if you think about it, I don't know how Steam sales are calculated these days, but you know, it's bigger than some games like, Fall Guys, like StarCraft.
I bet it's bigger than
it's
Civilization.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like The Witcher 3 only surpassed it by 1 million copies. just let that sink in for a minute.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And The Sims, it's so simple, but it's kind of what works about it, Like, I haven't really delved into the series. Like, I know a couple people who are real big Sims people, but the GBA Sims are fascinating because they're like story-based RPGs.
Yeah, the Herbs one is really fucking cool.
Yeah, the Herbs was like trying to like consoleize it. I think it's The Sims 2, the console version, like actually lets you move the characters around.
What?
Yeah. Like if you play the console version of it, which is really cool. And I believe The Sims 4 is now free to play.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they free to played it a while ago, which I think was the right way to go.
Totally.
And I'm in fact, I might even download and mess around with it a little bit, because I assume Sims 5 is happening at some point.
They've teased it,
but they have. Nice. Yeah. The Sims is one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time. It sold over 200 million copies.
Where are you reading that?
Wikipedia.
Yes,
damn
yes,
you.
Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia.
It's the easiest.
That's
thing.
That's a running thing with us, is we read from Wikipedia.
Yep.
I mean, don't most podcasts?
No, we are unique. We copyrighted it.
We're unique, Mom.
Speed of copyright. Is it time for an ad break?
It's time for an ad break, Aaron.
Be right back.
We'll be right back.
SuperPod Saga is brought to you today by our superstar patrons, A Novel Console, Jared, Jameson, and Adam. You're all as attractive and awesome as you are generous and gracious. Your support means the world to Tommy and I, and of course you're all number one. And we'll continue to pray to your names every single morning, noon, and night. Thank you all. We love you. Hey superstars, are you a coffee addict looking for your next big caffeine fix? Or are you just tired of all the normal boring coffee options out there now? Well, you need to check out Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee has lots of different varieties of coffee flavors. They've got things like red velvet, cookies and cream, s'mores. They've got one that's called Jamaican Me Crazy that's really good. It's like caramel vanilla rum kind of thing. But they also have just your usual, salted caramel and French vanilla and all that stuff. They even have decaf and what's called high voltage, which is just extra strength. And they've also got espresso. They've got all sorts of cool stuff. Plus, if you use coupon code SuperPod Saga at checkout, you'll get 20% off of your order. And again, that's SuperPod Saga at checkout to get 20% off. You can also follow the link in our episode description. And yeah, why not? Use that one-time coupon code. Like I said, 20% off. It's great. Head over to bonescoffee.com. Get yourself some coffee, some cool gear like mugs or French press kits, stuff like that. Check it out. Okay, bye. It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It's very important to replace those electrolytes, and I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get one packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I've felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier, and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And again, 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SuperPod Saga at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SuperPod Saga, SuperPod Saga at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars.
Are you there, Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. I thought we were just gonna like sit here in silence until like Thrak said something.
Until Thrak reads his ad.
Are you tired of menstruation problems?
No.
No, keep them coming.
Fuck, no, we've done that before. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Aaron.
All right, do you like, do you like ketchup? But you hate tomatoes, and you wish that there was ketchup, but not tomatoes?
I used to not like tomatoes. I've actually kind of grown fond of tomatoes over the last year.
Well, god damn it. Well, now there's tomato, or fuck. Dude.
If you like ketchup but hate tomatoes, you're a bad person. I'm not afraid to say it.
You take the reins, Tommy. You do this one. I can't do this late at night.
Hey, Aaron, have you... It's 8:50 p.m.
I know.
It's not that late, dude.
Hey, Aaron, have you ever said a video game fact in the company of others and someone and you were actually wrong?
Yeah, all the time.
Isn't that embarrassing?
Yeah, every single time. That's
Well, we've got a service for you and people like you called Actually Guy. It's a guy that follows you around, and whenever you say something incorrect about video games, he says "actually" and corrects you.
Does he push his glasses up?
You have to pay extra for that, but yes, that is an option.
Actually, The Sims was made by Will Wright and not Sid Meier.
Exactly.
And he's just perpetually sweaty. Like he's got man boob sweat.
On your
he's
neck.
got feet sweat. Yeah.
This is Scourge Fan 76.
Does not understand personal space.
He's like that one kid from Hey Arnold who's always stalking Helga. He's like,
exactly.
The mouth breathe.
Yeah, dude. Hey guys.
If you haven't said,
he's rapist glasses guy.
If he hasn't said, if you haven't said anything wrong, he'll still
rapist glasses.
He'll still tell you about what's his name kicking the helmet in Lord of the Rings and breaking his toe.
Does he also wear a public masturbator trench coat?
And a pedophile beard.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, those cost extra, but those are options available.
I can see it now. You're at a quinceañera. Your cousin's quinceañera.
Oh,
and
no.
and you come with your little niece. He's like, fuck no. Your niece is like, hey, uncle or whatever. Hey, do you? I got a new Pokemon. It's a fire type. It's called Totodile or something stupid. And then he shoves her
Totodile's
over.
water type.
Hold on, shut up. Stop, shut up.
Actually, Totodile's water type.
I didn't finish the bit. And then the ground starts shaking. The ground is trembling. Shit is falling off of shelves. Everybody's falling over. Here comes Actually Guy. And he's like, actually, that's Totodile's a water type. It's an alligator. It can't possibly be fire. Then he takes a big he wipes his nose with the entire length of his arm, like.
You really should have picked Cyndaquil at the beginning. You don't want Totodile. Here, just give it to me.
This potato salad doesn't have enough mayonnaise in it. That sounds like a white girl. What am I doing?
He pulls out a personal bottle of mayo and dumps it on there. He's like, perfect.
His back fucking pocket.
I love when you. I'm horrible because when you said take a dump, I thought you was going to take a dump on your niece.
Dude, oh yeah. I can see it now. You're at the church ice cream social. You're conversing with your pastor about.
Correct. This is just an example. This is just an example, Thrak.
yeah.
Oh,
I wish
oh
we could have like
no.
a big like neon sign. Example.
This
You're-
didn't actually happen, I swear.
Yeah, you're talking to your pastor at the church ice cream social function bar mitzvah. I don't fucking care. And you're like, hey, pastor, like, do you like fucking Half-Life? And he was like, oh yeah, I love Cortana. And then actually guy comes, he kick. Well, no, he can't kick. He's too large. He bumbles his way through the door. His fucking sweatpants shorts are almost falling off. He's like, actually, Cortana is from the Microsoft hit Halo. Half-Life was made by Valve. They don't own Halo, so. And then he just fucking bumbles out, leaves like a fart trail.
If you ever feel threatened by anyone, he will
Christ.
also tell people that he knows karate and has a black belt, and when he tries to like show it off, he does not look impressive at all.
And he constantly brags about being half demon, lightning ninja, lightning element ninja.
Mhm.
He also has oh man, fuck. No, this is a story for another time. I'm not gonna tell it right now.
Not during that.
He totally has a girlfriend that goes to a different school. You've never heard of it. You know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
If
wouldn't know.
you're in the market for these services and more, reach out to your nearest actually salesperson, and they'll get you set up. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
Just contact me on Twitter. I guess I'm an actual
just
guy. God damn it.
Thanks, actually, guy.
Thanks, actually, guys.
That's what my life has come to.
We're back.
Back.
We're
Oh,
back.
so my story here.
Mhm.
Okay, so another kid that we went to school with, Tommy. I don't know if you knew him. I hung out with him a lot. He was my unofficial best friend, as he liked to refer to himself as. We'll say it's Andrew M.
Okay, yeah, of course.
That sounds toxic.
He's very
No.
toxic. He's pretty weird. So
Definitely weird.
he was like dead set, like 100% convinced that he was a half wolf demon, lightning element ninja, and that his dad isn't his real dad. His real dad is actually a wolf demon. And holy shit, oh, here, huge rabbit hole. So there were other element ninjas in the world. Our friend Joey was fire. Miley Cyrus was earth. I'm not making this up. I was water, I guess.
I,
The girl that he had a crush on was wind.
who did he have a crush on?
A candle in the wind.
It was like Cynthia something.
Cynthia. I don't remember Cynthia.
It was in his grade.
That's a doll, isn't it? From Rugrats?
You're a doll.
Oh, that's so kind.
Aw.
Wow.
You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
It-
that was.
Andrew, man.
Thanks, Andrew.
No, I have a story with Andrew too.
Oh yes.
And then Thrak can give his.
Oh, I got a
I,
story. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you remember the
Let me
day?
dig in my ass real quick.
You remember the day when the National Guard came and had us
Yes.
do the fighting with the big cylinder stuffing filled things? Like we had to. It was like a
fucking god.
American Gladiators. It was like that.
Yep.
It was me against Andrew, and I was like, oh, gosh, I hate this because he's not a strong person.
No,
So-
not at all.
So I swung at him and like hit him. I don't remember if it was in the head or something, but all the kids who were watching go ooh, and I was like, no, stop it. And he like got embarrassed, and so I can see in his eyes he thinks that he's gonna look cool. He does like the and like swings at me, and I barely feel it, and I'm like, I don't want to be in this situation, and so I hit him and knock him over.
That sounds
You-
exactly like something he would do. There was
You
yeah.
could-
yeah.
So,
You could
so
just
you
see
felt
he-
bad about hitting him, so you hit him again.
Yeah, well, I had to end it. I wasn't gonna lose to him.
No, you can't lose to
But
him, dude.
You
Come
could just
on.
see in his eyes, he was like, this is my anime moment where I get my power from inside and beat him.
You hear the like, ah, like the zoomy lines
Hugh
in the
Naruto runs towards
Yeah, and it was just nothing, and I felt bad.
background. Oh boy.
What's your
you.
Andrew story,
Bisu. Oh, my Andrew M story. Okay, so I was just chilling, minding my own business, you know. When
Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead.
he texts me. He's like, "Bro, I need your help." And I'm like, "Oh God, what's the deal?" He's like, "Okay, hear me out. I met this girl, right? You don't know her, never mind. And she wants to meet up, right? But I have no way of meeting up with her. Can you get me there? Like I'll pay for gas, whatever. Like I'll buy you some food. Can you get me there? And I'm like, how far is she out? He's like, about hour 15 or whatever.
Sioux City.
And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. So I was like, I had nothing else to do that day. So I was like, okay, fine. So I go pick him up, and then I drive him there. In the middle of it, we pick up another one of my friends. Let's call him. I will call him Daryl.
Oh, this is a real story. I thought you were just making this up.
There is actually some truth in this story, but
Okay,
anyways,
cool.
So we pick up my friend because he's like, oh, I'm kind of curious to what's gonna go down, right? So we drive Andrew M. This is still totally Andrew M.
Yeah.
We drive him to this hotel in the outskirts of Des Moines, Iowa. We'll just say that, and we'll just say that, and then I drop him off, right, and we walk in with him to make sure it's not like a serial killer trying to murder him, and it wasn't. It was actually a lady, a nice looking lady. They hugged, they disappeared, and we just went, I hope he makes it, buddy. I hope he makes, because he hadn't done it
You were
yet.
the mother
like,
birds
he,
pushing the bird, the
yeah,
bird out of the
yeah,
nest.
yeah. He, I was gonna make him a man that day. God damn it! And then, like, a little, it was like 2 weeks pass, and I ask him, I'm like, how did it go?
He's still there.
Yeah, that's how crazy it got. I left him there for 2 weeks. No, and I think he found a ride home somewhere else. But I asked him, I'm like, how did it go? And then he gave me this whole story about how it didn't happen. And I was like, I went through all of this trouble to get you out there to push the baby bird out of the nest, and it didn't happen. And I still hold it over his head to this day.
That sounds like classic.
Did he at least buy you food?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
And he did buy me gas money.
What food was it? If you don't mind me asking.
Fuck, I
don't want to
remember.
impose.
It's probably like Wendy's or something.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Wendy's is good.
Yeah.
Little square burgers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and yes, that is a true story that happened like 10 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah, man.
If he ever finds out about this, he knows.
Okay.
But I don't think he listens to gaming podcasts.
Well, I mean, our listen base is 7 billion people, so odds are he
listens. Well, then he knows who he is.
Dude, I don't even know where our Andrew M is at this
point
in
buddy.
time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, rip Andrew M.
I forgot. After college, I worked with him briefly at Walmart.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
And
you worked at Walmart? My sympathies.
I know, it was a rough time in my life. I'm in a better place now. But
you're at Target.
in winter, I was driving home and I see his car in the ditch, and I see he waves his arms.
His red Malibu, right?
What?
His red Malibu.
I don't remember what it was.
He named it Ruby. He had a name for it. It was a girl.
It must.
Why was it a girl? You don't want to know why it was a girl.
Hey, welcome to the Andrew podcast.
I saw him with Ruby in the ditch, and he waved his arms at me, and I was like, I got to be a good person. So I went back and pulled in like to the side of the road, and I was like, "Is your car stuck?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, let's try and push it out." And we're not very strong, so we couldn't push it out. And I was like, "Well, let me at least give you a ride somewhere." And we get in my car, and it slides into the ditch. So we're both there in the ditch.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Eventually a truck comes by with like a dad and like 3 Sib brothers who are like college kids, and they're like, "You guys stuck?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're both stuck." And they get out of their Chevy or their Ford F-150, and they push us out of the ditches, and then we get on our way.
Their Chevy Malibu.
that they also named Ruby.
No, they named it Sapphire.
Oh fuck.
They bought the other one so they could trade.
Oh man,
I did not know I was going to think about Andrew today.
I think about it every day. It really fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah. It's sad because he died in that car crash like a year back. You know?
He died in jail.
Yeah. Let's just say Ruby did him
Christ.
dirty.
Oh fuck. Speaking of doing things dirty, I have a pick that
yeah, this is a video game podcast.
Yeah.
Just screw that.
Back to the video games. This one is sure to appease Thrak, though. It's Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, baby.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good game.
It's my
that's a real good
It's my
game.
favorite kart racer. God damn it.
Ooh,
I'll
it's a real good kart racer.
I'll
I
shout
like
it
it a
from the
lot.
top.
I like it a lot more than Mario Kart.
Yes, I'll shot it from the fucking highest mountaintop.
Yeah.
I'll freeze to death probably on the way up, but
Yeah.
I'll still like
Just
write it
Do the
down.
do the highest mountain.
It
in your
warms
state.
my Sega fanboy's heart, because I'm a Sega fanboy at heart, and that game definitely warms it,
Oh, yeah.
Because growing up, we had a Sega Genesis and an NES in the house, and I played that Sega Genesis way more. Like Sonic 2 was probably my first game ever, and loved that thing to death. In fact, I remember it's like 2002, 2003 ish, and my parents were like, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" Little boy, little son,
Child.
little Thrackington, and I said, well, Mr. and Mrs. Thrackington, I would like the latest Sega console, please. This was 2002 or 2003, mind you. And they didn't have the heart to tell me. They just said, we can't do that. They're like, Sega doesn't make consoles anymore or something like that. They were trying to be nice about it. And I was like, oh, but can I get the Nintendo console? What is that? And they're like, the GameCube. I'm like, yeah, give me that. So they got me a GameCube, and I still have it to this day.
Good job.
Nice.
Oh yeah, yes, I'm one of the lucky few to actually have a copy of Paper Mario for it.
Oh,
nice.
You son of a bitch.
My parents paid like $20 for it.
How good is Sonic Racing though?
Oh, dude,
It's
that game is awesome, dude. You can ride a Dragoon.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, you could be a monkey ball and do those cool monkey ball racetracks.
And fucking unlike Mario Kart, where like you can't really pick your favorite character because each character has like different weight class. Like each character in Sonic and Sonic whatever Racing Transform.
Sonic and Sega. No, it's Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform. I want to say Sega All Star. That's the tennis one.
And then there was the first.
No, that's Sega
game.
Superstars Tennis.
Then there was Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing. That was like the first one. But yes, Sonic and All.
These naming conventions hurt.
We'll go with Transform. We'll go with Transform.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
Transgender.
But yeah, any character could be like. You could have whatever stats you wanted them because they had like different mods, and I mean you had to level them up to unlock different mods for them. But I'm an Amigo main for life.
Amigo's pretty good.
Always do the acceleration mod because each character's cart could transform into different specific cool things. Like Amigos was at first it was just choo choo train when you're on land. When you're on water, it's like a little tugboat, and then when you're in the air, it's like. I forget. I think it's a helicopter or something cool.
Yeah, because I think because there's that really cool Afterburner track.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a fucking game! Dude, it's the
Yeah.
closest we'll ever get to like Sega Smash Bros. Kind of thing.
Yeah, like you can get Rio from Shenmue.
Yep.
He can drive a forklift.
You can get Alex Kidd, Metal
Opa
Sonic.
Opa.
Yep, Opa. Fucking what's
Beat
her name
from Jet Set Radio?
What's the Space Channel 5? Ooh La La.
Ooh La La.
Yeah.
Yep. Ooh La La.
Yep.
You could be Billy Hatcher.
Are you getting this, Tommy?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yes.
he was just getting tired.
Or were you just getting a call from Andrew?
No.
Okay, no worries. Sorry. Yeah,
you could be Billy Hatcher, the Bonanza Bros, the fucking Choo Choos, man. You could be Alex Kidd, I. So great.
God, what a fucking... And even before that, Sonic Riders, I forgot about that until just now. Sonic Riders was pretty fucking good, but Transformed is like...
And there's Team Sonic Racing, which is kind of a sequel to this one.
Yeah, and it's
fine.
It's alright.
It's not as fun. It's not as fun as this one because this one is very fan servicey, and that's what makes it really fucking cool.
I have 4 achievements left for that game, but they're fucking impossible. Like I've tried a billion times, but
I'm not an achievement guy, so I don't care.
And
you can be everybody's favorite Sega character, Danica Patrick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Danica Patrick, yeah. Or as the game likes to call her, Danica Patrick.
Danica.
Yeah, it says Danica.
Oh god.
Like,
you could be Joe Musashi from Shinobi.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've seen
Ilias
that
from
South Park
Golden
episode.
Axe, Knights,
Danica.
Puddin'. You can be Puddin'.
Oh,
You can be Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph. And then
What?
I
Oh,
guess
he's in
I
the
guess
game
the
too, huh?
PC version you can be like characters from like the Total War games. You
Yeah,
mean
like
General
Football
Winter
Manager
from
and
like
shit.
Company
Football
of
Manager? Are
Heroes
you kidding?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Sega has the Football Manager
Oh, yeah.
like
yeah.
franchise. That's them. Yeah.
What? Hey, Tommy, what's your next one?
My next one, speaking of games that have tons and tons of characters, out of all the Pokemon spin-offs I could have picked from,
Oh God.
I'm picking Thrak's favorite, Pokemon Go, on release. Not the current iteration.
And on the count of 3, go.
I loved Pokemon Go when it first came out. It was so fun to just walk around in the blazing sun and catching Pokemon, sweating like crazy. It's just such a cool experience. And when it first came out, everyone else was playing it, so you just walk around and see all these other people, and you just know that they're playing. Like me and my roommate were walking like on a walking trail somewhere, and some guy walking towards us is like, "Hey guys, there's a Psyduck back there." He just knew that we were looking for Pokemon.
he had his nerd radar like all the way up.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, Pokemon Go was so fucking weird when that was a thing. You know, like, well, it still is a thing, but
sucks,
like, sure, but but I remember when that came out. Like, full disclosure, not a Pokemon guy, and it's just not for me. But and I played Red as a kid. I tried. Okay. I got Red. I got Red as like a gift when I was like 5. Okay. I tried playing it. I tried watching the show, collecting the cards. Like, I did the whole thing, and it just didn't stick. Never stuck. So
that's okay.
I remain I look at it from a distance. I keep Pokemon at arm's length.
It's okay, Thrak.
That's
Let go
okay.
of my collar now. Let go. Please. I'm not a Pokemon guy. I said it.
God damn it.
Tried.
Let me puff on the cigarette. So anyways, but I remember when Pokemon Go came out, it was like a real big deal. And like it was so weird that I would just like look outside, you know, peer through my shades and just look outside and see everybody like just walking around with their phones. You know, it was like they're trying to find Wi-Fi reception, like they're the Verizon guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a phenomenon that like post COVID feels really bizarre.
Yeah. We
you know, it was the ultimate pre-COVID thing. Like if Pokemon Go came out like 2020, it would have been dead. It never would have done a thing at all.
Pre 2020, me and my wife went to a community day event, which is like they're once monthly. They're like, there's gonna be tons of this specific Pokemon. You got increases chance of getting shinies, and we went downtown, and it was literally a mass of hundreds of people who walked as a group from raid place because you could get a bunch of people in there to get a raid. And it was one of them was for a Ho-Oh, and so after everyone beats it, everyone's just sitting there trying to catch it, you know. And I caught one. It happened to be a shiny, and my wife goes, "Oh, you got a shiny!" And someone heard, and they're like, "This guy got a shiny!" And they're like, "What? He got a shiny? How come I didn't get a And everyone is like, 100 people are looking at me because I got a shiny Ho-Oh, and I'm like, I got the shiny, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was just such a weird experience.
What was it? Was it you felt the most like popular and most
not
hated in your life?
No, I hated it.
Fame is an illusion.
It was just a mass of people moving around downtown Omaha catching Pokemon together. It was such a weird thing. And then, like you said, COVID happened and it completely killed that.
Yeah, it's so weird because I walked with like some friends of mine doing it, and I never downloaded the app, never popped it open. Some people were like, a friend of mine tried to get me to download it so I could just trade Pokemon with him, and I was just like, not on your life, dude. Not on your life. Didn't do it.
I took that.
But I did kind of indulge in like walking around with people trying to find stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it was kind of the hip thing to do at the time. What was that? 2016, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had nothing better to do. So, you know, it was so weird, man. And it still exists. Like, I still get like ads for it on YouTube, or at least on my phone. But and I still see people playing it, so it still has like a dedicated group of people who are into it. And I feel like it's getting maybe the teeniest resurgence, and it could just be because we're like trying to go back to some sort of like pre-COVID normal, and maybe some people are trying to embrace Pokemon Go as a way to try to get some of that normalness back. But it's
Good luck.
never really going to happen.
Because that game is trash.
Exactly.
Dude.
I'll take your word
garbage.
for it.
It's filled with microtransactions. Anything cool you want to get, they put behind so many barriers. Like, originally they had a thing where it's like, hey, if you complete a task every day, you get a loot box that might have a legendary Pokemon. Isn't that cool? And that was like a reasonable way to get a legendary Pokemon. And then after,
like a shiny Jirachi.
Yeah, nothing to that extreme, but kind of like that. And
well, couldn't you get one in Pokemon Go?
Yeah, they had Jirachi. I'm pretty sure I have one.
Okay. Okay.
But
yeah, because a friend of mine at work he has this like on again off again thing where he's trying to get a shiny Jirachi, but he's doing it through like the Pokemon Ruby Coliseum like hack way. And it's like such a low chance of him getting it, and he hasn't gotten it.
I'll check mine. I don't think it's shiny, but I'll
yeah. Well, he wants a shiny one specifically, and he's willing to go through that pain. Poor guy.
The developers were like, "Oh, actually, that's a mistake. You guys are getting too many legendaries," and they removed that. And now the loot, I don't know what it's like now, but they changed it to the loot boxes. Where like, here's a Rattata. Or you can get a
thank God,
stuff like that. Like they made it totally not worth it. And
do you think maybe they'll give me a Geodude, guys?
They had a thing where they're like, we're gonna have a really special Mewtwo. You have to apply to be able to even get a chance to fight this Mewtwo.
Apply like it's a job interview?
Yeah,
and you gotta work for them for like 3 years to get that fucking Mewtwo.
What are your qualifications to fight this Mewtwo?
I submitted a thing like, I would like the Mewtwo, please, and I actually got into it. And they're like, okay, you have to be at this specific Pokestop between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. where there will be another group of people who also got the invite to fight as well. No, it was like
one Mewtwo.
It was like
please.
1 to 2.
You have to fly to like you have to fly to like Portland, Oregon.
It's just they made it so extreme and not fun.
Gross.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
What gross game do you have next, Thrak?
Hold on. Before Thrak goes, I have to go. My wife is sick, and I need to take care of her.
Oh, damn.
But,
does she have the COVID?
No, we took a test. She's negative.
Good.
But yeah, it's getting late, and she needs to go to bed, so I'm going to go take care of her. But thank you, Thrak. Sorry for abandoning you, Aaron. I hope everything's going to be okay for the rest of the show.
It'll be all good, dude.
I'll babysit him. He'll be okay.
Thank you, Thrak. Thanks for listening, everyone.
No problem.
Bye.
All right. So speaking of gross, my next spin-off game is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks.
Oh, that's not gross at all. That's good. I love
that because one. Mortal Kombat bloody gory. Yes. Shaolin Monks. It's definitely one of those games that I feel like I played it at the time, loved it to death, and anybody else at the time who had played it was like, yo, that game, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game. And it's built up a cult following over the years. I've found that like there were more people who were really into it. And like there were a couple of other Mortal Kombat spin-offs like Mythology Sub-Zero and Special Forces, which were trying to do like a beat 'em up action adventure thing, but they were bad, so it didn't really work out. But Shaolin Monks found that really good balance. I think maybe just being on the PS2 Xbox really helped, and then being kind of in between. I think this came out between Deception and Armageddon, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah, big fan of that era of Mortal Kombat. So like seeing this game, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And then I played it and I was like, yeah, this game's like stupid fun. Like it works because they were trying to do the whole, it's like a fighting game, but like an action event. It's a beat 'em up essentially, like a beat 'em up with more fighting options basically. And yeah, it's crazy to me how this game holds up still. You know, it's so fun. The co-op is great. You could finally explore a lot of those environments for the first time from the first two Mortal Kombat games. You unlock Scorpion and Sub-Zero later on, and it's just a really cool game. And it's a shame that it's stuck on the PS2 Xbox. It's never gotten a port in any capacity. I think at one point they were talking about doing an HD version. I think it was during like the 360 PS3 days or like going right into the PS4, Xbox One, but it never happened, which is really a shame because it definitely deserved to, get another chance. And who knows? Mortal Kombat 1 just recently came out. From what I hear, it's really good. People have been really enjoying it. So who knows? Maybe somebody will be like, hey, can we just like HD this game? Because like
For real.
Well, so many games are getting remastered these days. Like, why not take this game, HD it, just throw it, and then throw it on the digital stores on the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC, everything for like $20-$30. I'm there. Baby, I'm there. Give me online co-op. Hell yeah. And I'm in.
The only thing I can really remember from the game is training with Boraicho and being able to like basically make your own character and like assign them like the moves that you want and shit. But yeah, that was. Oh, I miss Mortal Kombat Deception now too. Fuck.
Deception's my favorite in the series.
Was that the one where like where they started giving each character like more than one fighting style? Like some people had like swords and like some had other shit like that.
Deadly Alliance was the first.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Deadly Alliance was when they started doing the 3D stuff, like the almost like Tekken Soul Calibur, where you could like do side steps and everything. And yeah, they had, I think it was like every character had 2 hand-to-hand fighting styles and a weapon style. And I think for Armageddon, they condensed it to just 1 hand-to-hand and 1 weapon style, which I think was fine. But yeah, Deception was the one where it has the conquest mode where you play as Shujinko, where Shujinko essentially gets tricked into bringing the Onaga, the Demon King, back, and that kind of plays into the story.
Oh yeah.
There's the Puzzle Fighter, which is essentially like Super Puzzle Fighter 2, but Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
There's Chess Combat, which I always got a kick out of. Me and my friends loved playing Chess Combat for some reason. It was a lot of fun, and it's such a game that feels like it wouldn't happen today. You know what I mean? Just like the kind of thing that this game was going for, and that it's Mortal Kombat, but it feels kind of cartoony and silly. Like it's not like, say, the more modern games that are, I think, trying to be a bit more serious.
Yeah.
Like these have a sort of lighthearted quality to them, which really helps them be more enjoyable, I think, like the older I get. So, and they're great. I mean, I need to really play through the more modern ones. I only just recently did the story mode for Mortal Kombat 9, and I really enjoyed it. So, and I have 10 and 11. I do need to sit down and actually play through those, like the story modes for those. So I've always been a big Mortal Kombat fan. When they did the reboot, I kind of fell off the wagon a bit. So I've been meaning to go back. So hopefully I can.
I always forget there's a Mortal Kombat 11. Like the last one I really, really, really played was Mortal Kombat 9. Like me and my old roommate would just beat the shit out of each other all the time.
9 isn't bad. It's not as, it doesn't feel as good as I want it to be, but it's not bad by any means.
Yeah.
I will say the Shao Kahn fights in the story mode were bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Total
like,
bullshit.
Yeah, I kind of like on when you're doing the fight as Liu Kang, I figured out a strategy that worked. I like kind of cheese him, which was I would just like stay as far back from him as I possibly could, and then when he'd taunt, I would just do the flying kick, and then immediately back up, and it worked. Usually I ran out of time, but I took down more health, so I beat him. But as Raiden, I actually had to lower the difficulty as Raiden so I could beat him. He was just kicking my ass.
Good old Raiden.
Yeah.
Another, I guess, like experimental spin-off, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that game so much.
That game fucking slaps.
I have the 3DS version. I wish I owned the Wii U version, but
I have the Switch version.
Yeah, it's
well, my son has it at the moment. But it's okay.
Technically, you have it, so it's
I bought it, but to be fair, I haven't really like sat down and played through that game in a long time. And I remember once he's like, "Dad, can I borrow this? Take this to my mom's house?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, buddy. I don't care." To be fair, if I wanted it back, I could just have it back. It wouldn't be a big deal. So
that's true. You good? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're fine.
And it's a great fucking game. Just
who would have thought Toad would have gotten a game before like Waluigi.
Or Roberto
And,
or fucking.
yeah.
I don't think has Bowser ever got. No, I guess he kind of has
well,
Bowser's inside story. Maybe
it's close enough, and I think Bowser has enough representation in like the Mario RPGs that it counts.
that's true.
But like with Captain Toad, you wouldn't think it'd be any good,
Oh,
but it's fantastic.
Oh man, those little.
And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You just cruise around and you grab coins and you find, you pull levers and solve puzzles, and then you get to the end of the level and it's like, and then, yeah,
Of course, yeah. Because it was in 3D World.
God, yeah.
There were those little Captain Toad levels in 3D World.
Yeah,
which are okay. And I guess like Miyamoto was like, make a whole game as him because I'm Miyamoto. I'll flip your table.
Make a whole fucking game. He took a big puff of his cigar.
Or I'll flip your damn table. And I don't know if you've ever heard that story.
No,
but,
he flipped a table.
Yeah, that I think like Miyamoto was arguing with somebody at internally about something, and he like got so mad he literally flipped the table, like Jesus in the fucking like. In the market, like in the market, when they or like in the church, they had all the market, and he's just flipping the tables like this fucking shit. Like Miyamoto's probably like this damn Mario, and just flip the table.
Fucking Mario and your spaghetti and
I've heard some stories about Miyamoto behind the scenes that like he can like he presents himself as a very nice, sweet guy, and he is, but when he gets pissed. Oh, he gets pissed.
I can see that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that when you finally like reach the end, whew, that's what I hear anyway. But
cool dude on the streets, total bastard on the sheets or whatever.
On the sheets. We're not even opening the sheets, honey. You don't even want to know what's about to happen. You don't want to sleep on this.
But oh my god, yeah, this game.
Captain Toad's great.
Back to the game. It's so
do you
good.
think it'll ever get a sequel?
I hope so. Like they could do a lot more with it. Like they could make the levels even like add even more layers to the level, add even more toads to it. Because like
well, my biggest issue with Captain Toad is that playing it on the Switch, it is not optimized for it at all.
Yeah,
it is so like crude to play it, especially the bits where they want you to like the Wii U touchpad. It's like, well, I'm playing on the Switch, and they're like, oh, just hold R and use the gyro on your controller. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But you do it, and it's just, I if they ever do a sequel, I mean, they very well could. This is Nintendo, after all. We never know what they're thinking. I would be curious to do a sequel for this, like a big budget, like as you said, have these like real big world, these like bigger levels, and you could definitely do more with this concept. I would really like to see whatever internal team at Nintendo made this get another shot at it.
They totally. I could see them making it work on Switch because like, if you're
or the Switch 2.
Yeah, the Switch, the Super Switch, whatever the hell it's gonna be called. Have you ever played the game Fez? They could make it kind of like that a little bit, like how you actually turn the world in that. Like they could make it.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be made by somebody who isn't an asshole.
Yeah, fuck you, Phil Fish. You little fucking.
See,
baby.
I never knew the issue with Phil Fish, and then somebody sent me a video of him, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he fucking went off on that reviewer or reporter or whoever, and then was like, I don't want to make games. What's your last one? That was my last pick, by the way.
All right. Let's see. I guess as not really a last pick, but it could be kind of an overall. We can look at the various Dragon Quest spin-offs.
Ooh,
I'm a Dragon Quest boy. Yeah. And we have 2 coming out this year. We have Infinity Strash, which is the action RPG based on the Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai anime.
Oh, yeah.
I've never watched the anime. I don't know anything about it, but I will be playing Infinity Strash because it looks fun, action RPG thingy. And I'm curious if it'll get me interested or invested in the show or not. So I don't know if there's a physical version for the Xbox because that's where I'm going to play it. I would like to have it because I have a little Dragon Quest shrine behind me. I'll send you a picture if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that would be cool. And then we're getting another Dragon Quest Monsters game, which is probably the most notable Dragon Quest spinoff, Monsters. Yeah, because it's funny how people describe it as Dragon Quest Pokemon, which it is, but Dragon Quest was doing the monster collecting thing before Pokemon was even a thing. Because Dragon Quest V, which came out, I believe, in
My
1982.
favorite, by the way, Dragon Quest V.
It's a very good game. Came out in 1982 and has a monster collecting mechanic in it. You know, where you can certain monsters, you can get them to join your party and keep them throughout. You don't have to do it, but you can. And then also games like the Shin Megami Tensei series as well. Was doing the monster collecting well before Pokemon was even a thing. But instead of cute monsters, it's Satan.
Yeah, dude. Satan and Shiva and shit.
Yeah. So, but I think due to the success of Pokemon, they were like, hey, we did the monster collecting thing. Why don't we, make a little series about it with Dragon Quest? And so there's the few Game Boy Color games. There's the one Game Boy Advance one that didn't come over. There's the two famous Joker Dragon Quest Monsters games on the DS that I have not played, but I've heard are very good things about. And then we're getting Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince, which comes out in December on the Switch. I believe it's Switch only. And that one takes place in Dragon Quest IV.
Nice.
Because the main character is Sorrow, who is the final boss in Dragon Quest IV. And it's a prequel to 4. I think that's what they're hinting at.
That's super
because
cool.
You're playing as him, which is really cool. So it's got me hyped for it as well. Yeah, beyond that, with Dragon Quest spin-offs, we have the Mystery Dungeon games, as has been mentioned earlier. We have Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime on the DS.
That one's good.
That really cool like Zelda clone where you play as a slime trying to save other slimes. I haven't put a lot of time into it, but what I have put into it is really, really fun.
Yeah.
It's great. One of these days I need to sit down and play it properly. And I hope we'd get either a full-blown remake or just like a sequel. I'd like to see another one of these games because they're just very, very high quality. And then there's a bunch of other like random spin-off games. There's like the Heroes, like
the Dynasty Warriors shit.
The Dynasty Warriors types. There's a Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest game on the 3DS in Japan only, of course. There's the Fortune Street games, which are like the weird mixture of Mario and Dragon Quest on like a game board. There's Dragon Quest Builders, which is just Dragon Quest Minecraft, and they're really good. Like, I'm not a big Minecraft guy, but the Builders games, they find a really good way of making like a Minecraft type experience giving it more of like a story and a purpose. I don't know if you've played the Builders games, but they're like the first one is essentially the world of Dragon Quest 1. Like, it's almost like a what if of the original Dragon Quest.
That's cool.
Yeah, because like if you remember in Dragon Quest 1, did you play Dragon Quest 1?
I haven't actually played through it, but I know like the story.
Okay,
yeah.
So like near the end of the game, when you fight the Dragon Lord, before you fight him, he offers you a proposition. He's like, either fight me or you can join me and we'll take over the world together. And of course, if you try to do that, you'll like get game over, right? Mm-hmm. But Builders 1 actually is that parallel ending where the hero actually accepts the request and they take over the world together. And so Builders is kind of like basing itself off of that. It's like a what if kind of story. Nice. Which is really neat. And then Builders 2 is obviously based in Dragon Quest 2 and kind of builds off of the first game as well. But it's really cool. And I quite like the Builders games as well. But then there's like Dragon Quest Walk, which is kind of like a Pokemon Go thing, but who gives a shit? Dragon Quest Tact, which is an online-only tactical RPG Dragon Quest game. I've tried playing it, like it's a mobile phone thing, and it's fine. It's fine. But there's I think it's Dragon Quest Wars, which is a DSiWare game. That's more of like a tactical RPG game. That one's better, but it's a DSiWare game, so it's hard to find unless you peruse the 7 Seas, if you know what I mean. And then there's there's Dragon Quest Swords on the Wii, which is like a first-person game where it's like a Dragon Quest. It's like a Dragon Quest game on rails, where they just kind of move you around, and then you get into fights, and then you use your Wiimote to slash slimes with your sword. It's a Dragon Quest game made for a fucking idiot, but I love it. And then I think it was last year we got Dragon Quest Treasures, which is a prequel of sorts to 11, where you play as Eric and his sister doing the treasure hunting that they talk about in 11 that they used to do together. You do that. And I wanted to like this game. I really did. But it's very boring.
Damn.
Yeah, it honestly feels like a spruced up mobile game. Because it has like daily challenges and all this kind of stuff, but there's no like microtransactions or anything. But but if you played it, it feels very like mobile game-esque, you know. And the combat is fine, but it's nothing amazing. And I put a good amount of hours. I think I put like 15 hours into it, and I was just so bored by the end of it. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I just kind of bailed on it. But whatever, it's in the collection, so. Hopefully Monsters is better. That was my Dragon Quest spiel, everybody.
We appreciate you being on the show, and I'm trying to remember what the fuck Tommy usually says for the outro, because he's like the main host guy, but yeah, where can people find you and your show once more?
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Thrak94. You can find the 3DO Experience. I believe on Twitter it's at 3DO Experience, or if you just type that in the search bar, you'll find it. We should be everywhere you catch your podcasts, so tune in for that. If you want to hear about a failed console and the weird stuff that exists within it, or if you enjoy my ramblings and want to hear them over there, that's where they happen as well. So shouts out to all that, and also check out Bill's other show, Gaming and Collecting, that he does with his sister Alex, Gaming and Collecting. So. Good stuff all around, and thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Hell yeah. We love talking about you and talking about video games, and once again, I'm glad to see another Dragon Quest aficionado in the mix, because god damn it, there's not enough of us. Everybody's like, oh, it's too basic, but like that's why it's so good. It doesn't overcomplicate. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we can do a whole Dragon Quest episode.
Oh, we should. Holy shit, we should. All right, well, yeah, and of course you can find us at SuperPodSaga.com. Previous episodes, blogs, social medias, Patreon page, because if you like the show and you like us and you want to support us, $4 a month. That's all we ask. But thank you again. Thank you for listening, everybody. Oh, fuck, what does Tommy say? Thank you for listening. Check out Thrak and the 3DO Experience. Check out our show that you're checking out now. I don't know, whatever. Tommy, help me from beyond the grave. Rip Tommy. Okay, everybody, bye.
Bye-bye.